Alright, so we were talking about these bouncing balls. Now, besides, I was saying the higher the ball jumps, the more hang time it is, right? Do you want me to share this on your desktop too? Show me, come on. Brook, brook. Oh, come on, man. Alright. Do you see it? Yeah? Good. Okay, let's keep going. So, the higher the ball jumps, there's more hang time. And what do you observe from this video? Yeah, that was what I was looking for. Good. Okay, so, and the anticipation here, it takes longer. What else do you see?
Yeah, like the ball squashing.
Yeah, more squashing, more stretching, more hang time. Good. So today's job is based on those principles, okay? And I don't want you to do a jump anymore. So let's go straight to animating. Here is my character. For the arms, I'm gonna use FK arms because he's not touching anything. And I would want to give him a pose, right? Now, as you can see, if you watch me animating, right, the first thing I'm going to do is to move around his COG, and then I'm going to repose his legs, just to give him a more natural, comfortable poses. Boop, boop. And then on the hip, I'm gonna just do a little weight shift. Can you guys watch instead of doing your own stuff, please? For the chest, I'm just gonna lean forward a little bit. I hate it when when the control is at 0. So I'm always trying to move things around, right? See, on the COG there's no rotation. I'm gonna add a little bit. You gotta be careful with rotating the COG because I don't bend with the COG and I don't tilt with the COG. Only twisting, okay? Now after I twist it, I will bring whatever foot forward, right? Depending on where he's twisting to. So if he's twisting and the left is in the front, left side is in the front, then I would move the left leg forward. Right. Just so you can see like he's not a T-pose anymore. Okay, so after we twist the COG, then we can twist the torso towards the front. When we look at wireframe and shaded, you can see like there's a spiral action going on his body, and that's what we want to see, right? We don't want anything to be like straight up, like a T-pose. And I work my way from the COG up to the chest. Now I'm gonna animate his arms. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the elbows already. We don't wanna bend all the angles. We just want to bend one axis on the elbows. When we do this jump, we start with, again, blockings of the shot. Blocking means what? Can you guys tell me what's blocking? Hello? Hi. No answer? Yeah. Okay, what else? Can't hear you. Posing, yes. What else? Posing, timing. What else is there? Sure. What else? In between? Yeah. Cameras. All right. I've done this pose. You see, we should show just the curves and polygons, highlight everything, and then set a key. Okay. This is my first pose, and I don't work with step keys, and I hope you don't work with step keys too. Fahad, we're using FK hands. Then don't use it. Yeah, because if you start wrong and you ask me how to fix it, I'm not going to fix it. It's hard to fix it. Okay. So that's my first pose. Next pose, I'm going to have it hold. Whatever, right? I'm going to make this shot maybe 100 frames. I'm going to have him hold for, I don't know, 16 frames. 16 frames. Next pose I'm going to do is where he knee down. Now, you could start with something like that, right? Or if it's more natural, Fahad, can you stop for a second? Yes. Okay, thank you. So right now I'm standing here, right? And if I'm just doing a jump, right? That is kind of static for me because my legs are locked, right? So when I pose my character, I already twist a little bit. So what you can do is like you can have one step forward, and that is how all the superhero movies take off, right? Because they have one knee down and one leg forward, and then they jump like that, right? Because if you have a step forward, it means that you can jump forward, right? You get that? So there are three different kinds of jump. I'll show you. So right now, I pose like that, and I'm jumping straight, right? Or you can have something like this, forward, jump, okay? So if you twist your legs sideways like that, and my weight is leaning on my left right now, you can basically like weight shift, and then go forward, okay? So those are the breakdowns that I would put in. Cool, so how many frames do I usually put for pose to pose? 6 to 8? Yeah? Okay, good. You're paying attention, that's great. So I'll do 6 frames. And I'm not going to put any weight shift or whatever, I'm just going to go straight to the next pose. Because you guys did bouncing ball already, right? And you're in term 3, so I'm just gonna do a jump forward instead of jump straight up and down. Okay. Now when you pose this next pose for the back leg here, you wanna go through the channels, right? Sometimes they have different name settings. So try out, for example, like select the channel, middle drag, left and right in your empty area. See what it has. I would turn off stretchy legs, so I don't like working with stretchy legs. So don't use this guy for the knee control. You always use the pull vector. It's some kind of arrow in front of the knees. All characters have that, okay? When we work on this pose, what kind of pose do you call this? Squash? Right? And if he's jumping really high, then we have to bend him more. You know? So I'm just gonna give him like a normal pose. Do you see my, do you see at the bottom, I don't bend so much and I try to bend more as I animate the upper torso control? Just don't put all the bands in one control, that's all I'm saying. When he is having his right leg forward, I would twist his body to the right and put his right arm down a little bit, maybe something like this. Okay. Rotate his neck and rotate his head. Okay, there's one channel in most of the characters. It's Orient or World or whatever it's called. Always try to turn it off and then rotate the chest and see what it does. Because if I turn it off, his arm is not going to be affected by the chest, and this is probably what I want to do. So I'm going to delete the Orient, leave Orient at 0. I'm just going to adjust these arms. I'm missing the shoulders here, see? Animate the shoulders a little bit. Now, when you pose this, try to make a jump on your own, right? Try to jump and then do it later. Do it later. Try to jump and then observe your pose. Maybe look in the mirror, look into something reflecting yourself, and see if you can make a cool pose, like I don't know, like Iron Man, Wonder Woman, whatever superheroes out there. Okay. So that would be my anticipation pose. Boom. I'm gonna hold it for maybe 8 frames. I don't know. Okay. Next pose we want to have is straight leg pose. Which is like this kind of straight leg pose. Now, I'm gonna say most human beings, when they jump, they have a straight leg pose because they try to jump as far as possible. So you can't miss this pose. You see, they actually record. See straight legs here. You see that straight leg? Let's see if there's any jump. Jump. You see, straight legs, and then when he lands, straight legs before he lands. Kind of straight, but we always put straight legs, okay? You see that? Straight. So we need that pose. I always put that pose 2 frames after. So here we go. Go to your side views. You see, when we put stretchy legs out, we don't know how far you can stretch. And that's why we want to remove stretchy, delete, put it to 0. Then we know what is the length of his natural leg. Okay, boom, boom. When I say straight leg pose, I really mean it. So let's adjust his foot roll, try to stretch it as much as possible. Now, if you pay attention at the band here, there, there's one moment. Boom, that's a pop, right? You don't want to pop it. It's somewhere like before popping, something like that. So, and about the other legs, make it as straight as possible and turn off the foot roll. Something like that. Okay, so boom, boom. And we want to have a straight body. For the arms, I'm just going to swing to the front and then fix the head up. There, okay. Next pose we want to have is hang time pose. Probably something like this. Okay. Something like that, like hang time pose. What do you think this pose is about? Huh? Bring the legs up, yeah. What kind of character would you think about when you see this pose, hang time pose? Spider-Man, yeah. What else? Ninja Turtle? Whatever ninja. Do they put that on human beings? Let's see. Batman? What else? Superman probably doesn't have a hang time pose because he can fly. What else is there? Captain America? Black Panther? Like that kind of pose, right? Who? Yeah, before you shoot the ball, yeah. This is gonna take him 15 minutes to land. Think about all the flashback.
Yeah.
Alright. So 4 frames after, I'm gonna give him a hang time pose. Now, I'm not sure how far he's gonna jump. So these are gonna be adjusted later on, okay? Hang time pose, let's do that. Somewhere here. Yeah. Now, this is gonna be not as a normal human being. You gotta look at which leg he's gonna delay, which leg is leaving at last. Right now, the red color leg is leaving at last, and that leg would be behind, right? You know when you do you guys play with your fingers? Like that, right? When you take off like that, right? You see that leg immediately kicks up, whatever is the back. Yeah. Okay, so boom, and then the other leg, which is leaving behind, is gonna be in the front, somewhere like that. And these are just like rough poses, okay? Okay, after hang time pose, there's just one pose, and hang time is actually a period of time. I'm gonna hold it for 4 frames. But because he's jumping forward, so I'm trying to I have to translate him forward, okay? Now when I do that, I want to select the controls on his body, which translate, right? 2 legs and COG. Click on the channel box. Because when I animate, I love using object mode. When you click on the channel box, it turned that moment into world mode. And I can do quick previous pose, next pose, to determine where's the hang time pose, because right now at 32 he's around here, right? And then he's over there. The next hang time pose, he probably would be somewhere around here, maybe a little higher. So you just gotta judge it with your eye, or you can use the editable motion trail. And the next one you want to have is landing pose. When he's landing, we need a straight leg pose. And when his legs is in mid-air, try to keep the foot roll at 0, okay? Because when you have foot roll going on, you can never get a right pose, and you'll end up counter animating because you thought like, oh, the leg is not straight, the foot is not straight, and then you try to use other controls to compensate it. So always keep your foot roll or whatever control it is at 0 when it's in mid-air. Okay. 2 frames after, we want to have a landing pose. I was talking about how you play with your fingers, right? Like right here, he jumps, boom, and then when he lands, he will land with whatever leg is in the front, right? And then after he lands, because you see, if I jump forward, I can't just land and go back because my momentum is going forward, right? So if I'm landing with my left leg, give it a step and let him knee down with his left. You guys know what I'm talking about? So like right here, I'm jumping forward, right? Because some students, they do this, like boom, and make it force it to come down and stop going forward. But I'm jumping forward, so if I'm landing with my left, you want to give the right forward, okay? So around here. Is this the same pose as he's taking off? Oh yeah, okay, cool. I can just be lazy. Now this is very lazy. You guys don't do that, okay? Because I can tell. So this is what I have right now. It's a really quick demonstration. Okay, you see it's like just blocking. So what I want to do right now is to tune the timing. More hang time. When it comes down, land a little faster. You see, you put your mouse in here and keep clicking, then you will notice things you're missing. You know, like because when you hit play and let it loop, your vision is not as sharp. So put your mouse here if you want to pay attention at some point, okay? And then you can just adjust it really quickly. See, right now there's more cartoony. But then it doesn't apply on all kinds of animation. You know, like if you look at Spider-Man, it doesn't have this kind of extreme timing. But if you watch some Japanese, like I always refer to Dragon Ball because that's my childhood cartoons I watch the most. What do you guys watch right now? No, it would be Naruto. Naruto is kind of old, right? It's like 10 years ago. But you know, it may work. Boom. Make it land a little faster. Let's try 3 frames. You know, you can, before you offset it, you can try to shift things around. Yeah, that's better. When he lands, he needs to be a little sharper. Okay, so now we got this going on. This is pretty great. For example, like if I'm happy with the result, then we should pick on some details. For example, like this moving hold, when you do anticipation, it doesn't just stop, okay? Because like if I'm anticipating, I would knee down a little more, right? Just to squash a little more. And to squash a little more, you just want to press it down a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Force is torso down a little more. His arm would come up a little higher. This is pretty easy, right? It's not that hard. You can do it, right? Yeah? Can you do it? Can you do it? Okay. This is like 3 marks, right? There. So compress it a little more. I can even like push this up a little higher so it has more room. And the other thing I notice is he comes forward and it stops going forward. There. Cool. Alright. And then go to your graph editor. Look at the translate Y curves. We want this curve to be like a bouncing ball. I'm going to click on all the translate Y and start tuning this arc. Or you can make him higher. Why not, right? And then in mid-air, you want to give him a very cool hero pose. Now, these two mid-air pose, I can squash it a little more here. Did I tell you one time I put a reference file up and then this student, she totally copied my work? She removed some keys and she claimed that, oh, this is mine. She thought I won't notice. It was like a few years ago. I called her out. I was like, this is a lion walk cycle. And I animate to some extreme details, like the toe would be like doing that kind of moment. Like after he presses it, it have a little left and right. She didn't remove that. I was like, this is exactly mine. Do you think I can recognize my own work? I made her do it again because, yeah, I know it's difficult when you can't animate. You want to try? I can give you a 0. Okay, so you see, when I hit play right now, you can see that there's some squash on the character. Hang on. Oh, there's no. Okay, that's fine. See that? Okay. Now, after he lands, you want him to squash a little bit. Oh, next thing I'm going to check is his translate Z curves. You know what's wrong with the curve right now? Because he's jumping at this kind of angle, right? It's kind of steep, and then it flattens out, which means like his travel curve, something is stopping him in the mid-air. Like when it's very ideal, this guy should be like that, right? So when you notice you did something wrong and you want to adjust it, make sure you select all three controls, the COG and legs, and we want to move these translate side curves up straighter like that. Okay. Yes, and I want to talk about the knees. It should have a control follow, right? When you say follow, then it follows the knees, follow the legs. Okay. It follows, it's probably follow the foot. Yeah. Okay. So there's other tools that can help you. It's visualize editable motion trail. Then you can see like why seems like hitting something, right? Boom. You see this part here, it should be straighter. Not straighter, but I mean rounder. You know what? If you can adjust the curve, just add a key in, okay? You can, yes. You can add keys in here, that's fine. Like right in the middle. I'm just being lazy. When we call this like coming down and it goes up again, this action you can call it overshoot. Wait, so boom, compress a little bit, compress a little bit, and there, and then it comes up again. Now we have this very basic animation done. We want to create a camera, new camera, and I rename it immediately. Render cam. I'm gonna create a ground plane. Where is it? Select your render cam. So something like that. When he's when he's leaving, try to catch him. Okay. Now for these kind of situation, I want to animate the camera in perspective view. If the camera is too small, use locator scale to scale it up, and I would rotate it like that, right? And I would aim at the highest point here. Just try to find him with your camera. And I would always track him. You can have him at the top of the frame. That's fine, because if you're filming something, you won't expect the character to go somewhere, right? You will have to always chase him, but never cut him off. Okay, don't cut it off, because this CG, we're supposed to make it perfect. Okay. You see, like these moments, I will adjust the camera. when you look at him right now, he's closer to the camera. As he's jumping off, he's further, smaller in screen, and then when he's coming back, he's a little bigger again. So that's good. Boom. All right. So what we can do in this background, because when he's in mid-air, there's nothing to visual where he's traveling. Now we do this a lot when we animate flying shots. We want to put if you put a sky background, that's fine, because I suck at texturing and modeling and everything else. I'm gonna put a sphere at the back. I'm gonna put it to a layer, make it a template, so you can wash the background. So these grids at the back is gonna help visualize your camera. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to save this. This is my first pass. Sorry, what? No, we don't do that. It's only for game. We don't animate a group at all. It's really hard to make a straight leg pose when you animate a group, because then you have to take care of the groups too. So what's the point? Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. Can you guys start doing this?